Vice let's start with you. This is just one part of the challenges that we do not bring to the fore every time. But on a regular basis, we do tell how either prices of fuel, high cost of living has gone extremely high. Today, we are taking a focus at just the cooking gas. To fill a 12 kg cylinder, one has to use almost all day in to make that possible. How does this make you feel?
Onye, I don't believe in anything that La République du Cameroon does in the southern Cameroon. I don't. They know they have abandoned the southern Cameroon. They know that we are gone, and they are not about to put one penny in the southern Cameroon's Ambazonian. All that gimmick, all that moving of people to Bamenda for a gas production unit was all political gimmick. It has nothing. It is not going. There's not going to be any gas production in Ambazonia by La République du Cameroon. They are gradually taking away everything that we own. They are gradually taking away anything that they had initiated in our territory. And they are not ashamed of it. They lie, they come and make some sweet speeches like John Gote. He came to Bamenda and said they are going to rehabilitate Sonora. No, it's not up to a month. They are sent a representative to inaugurate the new refinery in Kribi. They are going to abandon the wreckage of Sonora in Victoria, just like they pretended to produce gas in Bamenda. All that is gimmick, all that is rubbish. They will never put a penny in our territory going forward. They know. They know that we are gone. Our problem now is to secure our territory and start the process of nation building. We are very lucky. We are very lucky because most of Ambazonia is fertile. Look, prices have gone up, yes, but because we have not created a corridor for Nigeria, for goods and services to come from Nigeria. With the Naira, from the Naira to CFA, it will be by far cheaper. But because of the war, because of the constant fighting, we are unable to create a corridor to link Nigeria and Ambazonia so that we don't have to depend on Douala and Yaoundé for supplies. They carry the goods in Douala and multiply the prices. By the time they get to Boya and Bamenda and Doop and inside Ambazonia, they have tripled the prices. And our people are going through hell. That is why we must die trying to gain control of our territory. That's why Ngokutunja's draft today is so important. Ngokutunja is one of the most active and very, very important county in Ambazonia. I'm not saying all the counties are not important, but Ngokutunja has been, from the beginning of this struggle and up to today, you can count Bui, Ngokutunja, Manyu, Indian, Fako. They are holding the ground. There are some places that, we're not going to fight war everywhere. It's not a question of fighting war everywhere. But let's face it. Anything that La Republic promises to do in Ambazonia is a farce. They will never. Look at the roads. Look at even the road that is supposed to link La Republique and Bamenda. For how many years now we have been talking about the road from Bonda to Bamenda? It will not happen. It's not happening. But Dion Gote will carry himself to Bamenda and tell lies, carry himself to Boya and tell lies. Today he's unable to explain how Sonora left, how the refinery now is being built in Kribi. The laying of the foundation stone was done in Kribi, and Dion Gote doesn't seem to know that that's what happened, because he was not invited, and he's pretending not to know, but it is a fact, and he's running to Douala to go and lay a foundation stone for the development of the port in Bonaberi. But this is I don't know why we spend time talking about it. We have a job at hand, and that job needs money. We have to draft, and we die drafting. Today we must give Ngok the resources they need to defend themselves, because a single man called Anderson got a woman and her children arrested, and he's still keeping the children and women in detention up to as we speak. The wife of one of our fighters, and also the old parents of the man. What they need resources to fight to get Anderson out of their territory. So we need to draft. If there's anything that we need to do today that will make a difference between saving lives in Gokutunja, this is this draft. I don't care the obnoxious audios being made by LR who has never been able to draft even one penny in Kupe Mananguba. What right has he to talk about Gokutunja? We will draft Gokutunja today and let heaven and earth come down. We will draft so that
I agree with you. I agree with you, Barrister Fu. That's why we are here. We'll draft. So we need to have be done with this report from the home front. Then we get into the draft proper. So I want us to just focus on the reports that we have at hand. So that when we get into the draft proper, we'll talk about it and ensure that all Ambazonians come out tonight to draft Ngokentuja. So let's get to you, Barrister Mbeseha.
Let me finish by saying that we don't need La Republique. Let them all that their political gimmick that they come that they are producing. They want to produce gas production unit so that the gas can be cheaper. It's neither here nor there. They will never do it because they know we are gone. We are no longer part of them.
That explains why the prices are on the high side, because they know that Ambazonians are not part of them. That explains why they need to stretch Ambazonians a little bit more. Barrister Mbeseha, do you agree with Barrister Fu that because Ambazonians are pulling away or have pulled away from La Republique to Cameroon, these can account to the reason why we have serious hike in food prices? Not just food prices, even with cooking gas on how to, even get the food ready in the first place. When you stay with us every weekday, when we talk about some of the challenges Ambazonians are going through due to the senseless war caused by La Republique to Cameroon, you understand the pain, because you see this report on a regular basis. This is the gasoline. I remember when we gave a report on the inauguration and commissioning and all of this, but here you have it. They are not getting it even cheaper, in any way cheaper than they were promised. Promise and fail. That's what Ambazonians see every time. What would you say?
Well, your question was whether I agree with Barrister Fu and so. My answer is yes, I do agree with him. 150%. And if you permit me, I will add 50% so that we'll go up to 200%. Now we're talking about gas, cooking gas. That's a simple way to put it back home. Cooking gas. That is more expensive. But why are we talking about it? Cooking gas has never been a problem in Nigeria. Are you getting me? Are you getting me?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Cooking gas has never been a problem in Ambazonia. It is not even a problem in Cameroon. Why is it being debated right now? We're debating it because someone from Yaoundé mysteriously made it an issue by claiming that they were trying to put a plant somewhere in Bamenda that will produce cooking gas. But that was a month after they did the same thing in Kumba. They inaugurated a cooking gas plant in Kumba. That's all in Ambazonia. And I had the question, the time to ask here some weeks ago. Why did they not inaugurate one in Bafusam, in Kribi, in Garwa? Is it only Ambazonians, Anglophones they call them, who use gas to cook? Certainly not. It's a political ploy. It's a political deceit. How many women cooking, when we talk about cooking, we refer to women. How many women in Ambazonia use cooking gas? In general, 80-90% of the women in Ambazonia don't use gas. Women in Equia, India, Hindu, they don't use cooking gas. They use firewood, which firewood they carry on their head. The best thing that they would need is to get a where they can carry that wood on it. But they don't even have that truck. They don't have a path through which you can push, which is about the roads. And you find somebody telling you that they're coming to put a cooking gas plant. It's all a political ploy. And I've said this before. Everything they say now must be looked at in the context of the war, one, in the context of the elections that are coming up in the next 60, 70 days. And so they are just deceiving people. Cooking gas is not our problem, I've said. That should not be even anywhere for us to debate. But even if it is for a debate, it is now established that the whole idea of cooking gas plants, be it in Kumba, what they call Southwest, or in Bamenda, what they call Northwest, they are all lies because none of them is functional. One, because they never intended it to be functional. They never ever intended to do anything like that. But they intended to buy the vote, most importantly, of the women who suffer with firewood and coke. But their lives have been laid bare. Their lives have been laid bare. And to add to a litany of lies, as Mr. Ansor has said, as we speak here today, there was a meeting in Boya, chaired by who? Chaired by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was chairing a meeting how to organize the voting of the president. And curious enough, the Prime Minister did not even mention again the lie he told us 2 weeks ago. That's another, there was nothing going to go to Caribbean. It was a big lie. That was impossible. He wouldn't mention that because he himself had been caught in his lying. But the bigger problem is not that he's lying. The bigger problem is that our own sons and daughters, our own parents, mothers and fathers, don't see this lie as we see it. They cover it, they pretend not to see, and then they think everything is normal. No, no, there's normal. They are just lying. Our own brothers who are aiding in these fabrications should be told enough is enough. That said, let me just revisit Ngwa Kutinja based on what Dr. Mungwa said. Just a few lines there. We should remind from what Dr. Mungwa said. Ngwa Kutinja is a variety of people. There are many there, different ethnic groups, people with different opinions and different views. That is a fact. It's a plurality of a society. And when we say we are drafting from Kotunja as Ambazonians, coming from across the across the land, we do so in solidarity with our people. Because Ambazonia is Ambazonia. Kutunja is part of Ambazonia. they will not complete Ambazonia without no contribution. And so we'll do that in solidarity with them. And then let me remind others, and I think Dr. Tango must in his own ways. Ngokutunja is not the property of a few angry people. It's not the property of a few angry natives there, wherever they find it. And
Barrister Mbeseha, I wanted us to, have a special time to talk about just Kentuja. I wanted us,
okay,
to
over to
exhaust
you.
all of the, reports from the home front. Then we now have our time and talk about Kentuja. So let's just leave Kentuja out. We'll come back and have enough time to talk about that. Dr. Mungwa, the issue on the gas, would you want to say something before we get to our next report and get fully into Kentuja proper?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the barristers actually laid bare the lie behind the gas project. We've understood over a very short period of time that Diangute is just a messenger of lies. I don't know whether the guy has any self-esteem or not, but for somebody who knows exactly what the truth is, and he's been sent as a boogeyman to go and tell all these lies around, and he goes there with a straight face and he tells all these lies. I begin to wonder. This is somebody who I met when I was still teaching at the university back home. And what really intrigued me when I met him was that he was full of self pity. I remember sitting with him in a room after we've reviewed some documents for promotion, and suddenly he just started saying, "Oh, we Anglophones, they just marginalize us, they never respect us." I looked at this man. I said, "Are you not the director of the so-called Enam? And you're making such statement?" He gave me a very cold feed when I heard him complaining. So now, in retrospect, when you hear him behaving this way, you know that is somebody who has no opinion of himself or of anything. All he has to do is to listen to his dad, who is Bia, and whatever they ask him to do, he goes and does it. He has no opinion of his own, none whatsoever. So even this thing about take the Sonora has been abandoned, and it's a grave industrial hazard in Victoria. I just wrote a paper about it with one of our top engineers in England about the industrial hazards that have been abandoned, and people will be sick of cancer, leukemia, and all sorts of diseases. This is tragic. And we call upon La Republic government to clean up the environmental mess that they've left in Limbe. I'm making this very, very clear because it's going to become an international problem with La Republique du Cameroon for abandoning asbestos infested, um, contaminated soil, contaminated water. They've just abandoned it and gone somewhere else. We are aware of it. So I sorry again I got off topic because this man called Jongute, I don't know whether this guy is a zombie or he's a human being. I have no clue whatsoever, but he's such an embarrassment to hit that position.
Yep.
All
Over to
right,
you, Onyema.
of course, of course.